You'll notice on your table there's a bunch of hearts. It's not Valentine's Day. It's because we love Nevada City.
Yeah, big hand.
Yeah. I'm Mimi Simmons.
And I'm Dave Iorns.
And we're your hosts tonight.
So please hold your applause. We're going to introduce a few people, dignitaries here this evening, and we're going to start with Evan Phelps and our city council person, Valerie Moberg. Could you guys stand up, show yourselves?
We have our city manager, Mark Presswick, and his beautiful wife, Jenny, who just flew up here to be here tonight.
Thank you, Jenny. How about our Nevada County Board of Supervisors, Heidi Hall. Is Heidi here? There she is. And Dan Miller. There you go, Dan.
We have our legislative director for Assemblyman Brian Dolly, Sherry West. Sherry, where are you?
Is she
there
here?
You are.
There you go.
Thank you.
How about Damian Fussell, representative from Senator Ted Gaines' office?
We have Robin Gavin from the Greater Grass Valley Chamber of Commerce. She is the CEO and Executive Director. Thanks, Robin.
Hey, Robin. How about our Miners Foundry Executive Director? Is she here tonight, Gretchen? Her car's here. She is on her way. Okay, we'll give her a hand when she gets here.
And Nevada City Rotary President, Mr. Walt Stickle. Where are you, Walt? There you are.
There you go, Walt. So we have three of the past Chamber of Commerce presidents tonight, and one of them is Mimi Simmons.
And one of them is Dave Iorns.
Oh, wow. And one of them is Valerie Moberg. Hi, Val. And former Elsa Kilroy Award winners are present tonight. We have George and Pat Harper.
Barbara Tanner.
Where's Barbara? There's George.
There's George.
Where's Barbara?
Hi, George.
Is Barbara here?
There's Barbara.
Stand up, Barb. Oh, you are standing. Okay.
Yeah. Madeline Hellig. Miss Madeline.
Madeline's here. There we go, Madeline. How about Kathy Whittlesey? Yeah.
Our creative decorators, Denise and Jerry Anderson.
Yeah, and you can give them an extra big hand because they decorated. Thank you, guys.
They heart you.
Yes. How about Cindy Moon? Cindy, where are you? There we go.
And Dave Iorns.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, we'd also like to welcome new members of the chamber. There's Paul Emery is a new member this year.
Hey, Paul.
And he is also a new board member. We're thrilled to have you on board, Paul.
And the in-town campground, Aaron and Dan Thiam. We have Jed Ryan here. Where's Jed? There he is.
There he is.
Thanks,
Hi, Jed. Okay, so let's just move right along. Please eat. Don't worry about it, but listen. We're going to start with a little joke. Is that okay? It's a quick one. So there's a widower named Tom, and she's a widow named Mary. They had known each other for a number of years. They were high school classmates, and over the years they attended many class reunions without fail. They were both attending the 60th year reunion, and they made a foursome with two other singles. What a wonderful evening. Gosh. Drinking, dining, dancing. Tom throwing his admiring glances at Mary, and Mary smiling coyly back at him. Finally, he picked up the courage and he blurted out, "Will you marry me?" After about 6 seconds of careful consideration, she answered, Yes, I will." Well, the evening ended in a very happy note for Tom, but the next morning he was troubled. Did she say yes or did she say no? He couldn't remember. Try as much as he could recall, he just went over the conversation of the previous evening, but his mind was blank. He did remember asking the question, but he couldn't recall her response. So it was with fear and trepidation that he picked up the phone and he called her. First, he explained that he couldn't remember as well as he used to. Then he reviewed the fun that they had the past evening. And as he gained a little bit more courage, he then inquired of her, when I asked you to marry me, did you say yes or no? Why, "You silly man." I said, "Yes," and I meant it with all my heart. Well, Tom was delighted, and he felt his heart skip a beat. And then Mary continued, "And I am so glad you called because I couldn't remember who asked me."
Where's the drum roll?
Me too. I think my middle name is Tom. So I'd like to start by thanking all of our volunteers for the fabulous job of keeping our chamber doors open 7 days a week. And I think we're gonna name them real quick. How about Robin Adams? Is Robin here? Is Marilyn Allstrand here? Pam Boswell? Beverly Bussey? Louise Carter? Sandy Devine?
Karen Chiswick, Sherry Ellison, Sherry's here. Monica Froreich.
Froreich.
Thank you. George Harper and Sherilyn Ilg.
Pam Head, Ginny Knott, Madeline Helling,
Donna Gerald, Nancy Jo Hansen, Lynn Perry, Myrna Stone,
Jean Wilson, Rita Wilson, and Glenda Zanone. Give them a
Thank
big
you.
hand, you guys, because 7 days a week. They take good care of our customers from out of town and anyone who wants to use the bathroom in the chamber office. So, oh, Gretchen's here. Let's give Gretchen a hand. Better late than never. So we'd like to also thank Chief Foley. I don't think he's here tonight, but he and his department for all the help that they give us during our events. I'd like a big thank you for Cindy and Libby for their invaluable help in the office. Invaluable help. Kathy Whittlesey. Kathy, would you come up here a minute, please? So there's a huge, and I mean huge, thank you to Kathy for being there, for the board, all the chamber members, for representing Nevada City in a truly professional manner, for attending and representing Nevada City at a myriad of meetings and committees throughout the county, for being there after regular office hours during all of the events that the chamber puts on, and for all of the hours preparing for these events, and for being the very best executive director a board could ask for. We'd like to present you with this certificate. Okay. That's a joke. Okay, now I can start with this. By the way, for anybody who wondered where Peggy Peterson is this evening, she's a Ghana. No, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Oh, she wants everyone to know that she's not here tonight because she's in Ghana.
No.
Did we get that? Thank you, Mark.
She's in Ghana.
She is Gaga
That's
in
the Super
Ghana,
Bowl.
yes. Barbara Tanner. Is Barbara Tanner here this evening?
Right there.
Could you come up here, Barbara? Put your fork down. Come on up. She's in Ghana. So Barbara joined the Chamber Board of Directors in 1987. 1988 and 1990, she is the past president of the Chamber. She is currently a member of the Board of Directors. She has probably worked on every committee of the Chamber, including the bike, went right into her ear, including the bike race, ambassadors, Constitution Day, Uncorked, Fair Booth, 4th of July Budget Committee, and she has brought a high standard to our street fairs, summer nights, and Victorian Christmas. She has placed vendors, hired entertainment, juried arts and crafts, dealt with lots of different personalities, both pleasant, most of them, well, yeah, both pleasant and unpleasant. And she also isn't afraid of rolling up her sleeves and doing the hard work that is necessary. Barbara is an outstanding volunteer, and everyone agrees that the 2016 Victorian Christmas was the best ever. Thank you, Barbara. You are an asset to the Chamber and Nevada City. And here we have a little gift certificate for you. Now, would you like to say something or not?
Should I give you a hug?
Yes.
Thanks. It's been a pleasure, and it will always be, because I love Nevada City, and I want to just keep it the way it is.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thanks,
Give her
Barbara.
another big hand. How about, could we have Dave Adler and Tisha Gill come up here, please? Come on up. The Chamber's success relies on partnerships, volunteers, members, and city support. Tonight, we would like to recognize Waste Management, one of our partners who have continually helped the Chamber succeed. Waste Management has sponsored the bike race for years, a big sponsor, by the way, and offered their services to the Chamber at events and cooperated with our vision of making Nevada City one of the top-rated cities in California. We want to personally thank you for your continued support of Nevada City. We know that we're just one little town that you represent, and we appreciate the backing and confidence that Waste Management has shown to Nevada City, and I want to thank you for picking up my garbage. We have a plaque for you.
I missed that one.
Thank you very much. I'm new to the county. I've been here about 6 months now. I'm actually building a house here in South Nevada County. So it's a great community. I'm falling in love with it. So is my family. But it's great to get to know everybody. If I haven't met you yet, I'm looking forward to getting to know everybody as well. So once again, we'd like to thank the Chamber for this award, and we're definitely going to continue with the support. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave.
Big hand. And Tisha is in public relations, and excuse me, David is the district manager. Mimi?
So we want to take a moment to remember those who are not with us, and we have two very special people that we'd like to acknowledge. First of all, of course, is Greg Cook, and there's probably not anyone in this room who doesn't have some kind of memory, either at Friar Tuck's or a debate at the Chamber of Commerce board director meeting or some funny story. And we've all had so many memories. Greg came here so many years ago. He's past president 3 times. He was on the board since 1980, and he has influenced so many things in Nevada City. He's certainly a staple, and his family has been too. And you want to have someone come new to town, you have them meet at Tuck's to have a glass of wine. It's kind of a flavor of the way Nevada City is. So we want to remember him. Every time you go over to have a glass of wine at Tuck's or take some friends to dinner, just send a little smile or send up a little toast to him, because he certainly deserves it. So we also want to remember Lowell Robertson. Lowell, we lost Lowell just recently, and he came to Nevada City years ago and immediately got involved with the Chamber of Commerce. He was president for 2 terms. He really supported a lot of the dynamics that happened in Nevada City in the early years, including the butterfly concepts in Pioneer Park, and he helped establish what we know and love now as Victorian Christmas. So he's always supported our local organizations to the very end, and he always made everybody feel really special every time he saw them. So just keep him in your thoughts, and their family too. Thank you.
So could I call up the 2017 board and officers? And Evan, would you mind coming up and swearing these folks in? Not at them, but in. Yeah.
Thank you. So here, I'm reading this. Yes. Okay.
So Peggy's not here. Call all these guys. Dan Miller's here too. Yes.
Dan Miller's here. Good evening. I'm Evans Phelps. I have the honor here tonight of acknowledging the 2016 officers and board of directors of the Nevada City Chamber of Commerce. Please rise when your name is called. So you're going to have to get even taller. Dave Iorns. Right here. Mike Bryan. Right there. And Robin Danos. There you are. Great. These are our three leaders. This is the president-elect, and the treasurer. And then I'm going to read the names of the board. Okay, great. You can't change this. I mean, I'm too dumb to do that.
Matt, come on up.
Okay. Peggy Peterson, Tom Coleman, Melinda Solis Day, Barbara Tanner, Kim Coughlin, Gary Tintle, Paul Sieving. God, I hate it when people pronounce names wrong. Linda Hansen, Jim Hart, Teresa Berlinger-Mann, Matthew Margolies, thank you so much. Carissa Cook, Hillary Hodge, and Homer Nottingham.
This was last year. Come on up, Homer.
These people have given much of their time, ideas, work, and talents towards the betterment of our community and to the chamber. And they're deserving of our gratitude for a job well done, and we should all give them a great hand. Thank you so much. I will now call the names of the directors for 2017. Will the following please rise and come to the podium if you're not already here? Mike Bryan, Peggy Byrne. Yeah, thank you. Mike Byrne, Peggy Peterson, Tom Coleman, Melinda Solis Day, Barbara, thank you. Kim Coughlin, Gary Tintle, didn't see Gary here. Dave, Linda Hansen, Jim Hart, Teresa Berlinger-Mann, Matthew Margulis, Robin Danos, Calissa Cook, Hillary Hodge, Steve Moberg, oh goody, and Paul Emery.
Yeah.
Mike has been elected president, and would you like to say something?
He will in a minute.
Okay, great. And Matthew is the president-elect, and Robin has once again volunteered to be the elected treasurer. Thank you so much. Okay, now we get to this kind of officially part. Ladies and gentlemen, before you officially assume the role to which you have been elected, we wish to remind you of the responsibilities you have undertaken. It will be your duty to attend all regular and specially called meetings of the Chamber. Action by you on question of vital importance to the community and the Chamber requires careful deliberation, wisdom, thoughtfulness, good judgment, and listening to all the rest of us. I just added that. You should study the bylaws and keep informed on all policies and activities of the Chamber so that it shall be served to the best of your ability. And I now proclaim that you have been officially installed as officers and members of the Board of Directors of the Nevada City Chamber of Commerce. And then speaking to you guys, I'm done, and I'm handing the
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hang on to it. I'm going to announce you now. You're up. You're up.
You can sit down now if you want. There's enough glory. Yeah, that's
They
it.
enjoyed it so much.
Make it
they're
quick.
gonna Get installed again, I guess.
So anyway, as the 2016, actually the past president now, I am handing over the gavel to our new president, Mr. Mike Byrne. What was it? Byrne. There you go, Mike.
I don't have enough hands here. Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Mimi. Dave told me to keep it short, Mike, so I'm going to try. First off, you know, Barbara Tanner definitely does the job. I cannot believe it. And there's one thing that Dave forgot to mention about her abilities. Her ability to control the weather. I believe that the only 5 days this winter it didn't rain was on the 5 days of Victorian Christmas. The state of the chamber is strong. Stay there. We have one of the best and most successful chambers around. Our staff is first rate, and our volunteers have really stepped up to the plate to ensure the success of a very fine slate of events and attractions. Events that have drawn thousands of folks to visit our town and discover the jewel of Nevada City. These folks do indeed return and availing themselves of the recreational and cultural features of our town. They bring with them, of course, the tourist dollars, and that they spend in our shops and restaurants and other establishments. The state of the chamber is that we are financially sound. Our membership can certainly be proud of their chamber. Now, I have an exciting announcement. Yesterday, we sealed an agreement to reinvent one of our most iconic events, the Nevada City Classic. The bike race, as you know. Over the past several years, the bike race has experienced declining attendance. You might say cycling is cyclical. Try saying that a few times. And we're at an ebb of popularity in professional racing. Some say maybe, well, we just don't have the big name stars. Well, that could be true. But I'll tell you one thing, it's not from a lack of our efforts here at the Chamber. Dwayne Strouser and his crew have done amazing work to keep the legacy alive. This will be our 57th year. However, we felt we needed to reinvigorate the event somehow. So we've partnered with Kurt Stockton, who will be managing the event. And in a moment, Kurt will tell you what we have in store. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Kurt. Kurt Stockton is a multifaceted former professional cyclist, business owner, promotion marketing manager, product developer, team owner, and race organizer with 30 years of cycling experience. A Nevada County resident since 2000, Kurt co-founded the Tour of Montana and has driven a VIP vehicle in the Amgen Tour of California and the Tour of Utah. Currently, Kurt is an independent sales representative for over a decade, for over a dozen brands in the cycling industry in the Northern California area and lives right here in downtown Nevada City. So, Kurt, would you please come up?
Wow, that was quite an introduction. Well, I just have to say that I'm very excited and honored to be here, and it kind of touched me deep down to get the support of the chamber. You know, I was fortunate to sit in planning meetings for the event all of last year and get to know a lot of people, especially Kathy, who was up here earlier, and Kathy has been very supportive of myself and bringing me in here. So just to kind of give you a little overview of what I have planned for the event and what we've come to agree upon here. I grew up in cycling. I raced bicycles for 17 years, and I always heard of this iconic event in Northern California, the Nevada City Cycling Classic, and there's a very rich history that this event has. And we're coming up on our 56th year. The Nevada City Cycling Classic is one of 57th, one of the oldest continuously running events in the country. There aren't that many that have been around that long. That being said, we can't rely on that history going forward because cycling has changed. So what are we going to do? We're going to reinvent the classic to bring it up to speed to what is going on in cycling now in the United States. And a big part of that is that while racing has been on a decline, participation events have been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There are events all around the country now that aren't races, but I guarantee you, you take any group of people and pin a number on them, and they will race each other, right? I mean, that's just kind of human nature. So my idea and what I want to happen is I want to create a weekend of events that we can still draw on the history of the criterium, but we need to bring other people in to participate. And so what that is bringing in some other events to get participants here as well as racers. There's been a huge increase in the popularity of what we call gravel events. And right from downtown here in Nevada City, there are world-class gravel roads. You know, we have these decommissioned mining roads, logging roads. I'm fortunate enough to I get to go and ride a lot of these roads around here, and these events are becoming very popular in the U.S. So I want to create a weekend that not only will have the criterion, but we're also going to have a gravel event. I want to throw in a running event during the criterium, which will bring in other sporting type people. They don't have to be cyclists because there's so much that this town has to offer. And one of the best things that I've seen in going to these events around the country is that all of this is accessible right from downtown, right here. And we have great businesses, merchants, restaurants. We have 2 breweries in town now. So there's opportunity for people to come in and do these events, but also take in what the town has to offer. So we're going to have this weekend, but the long-term goal is to get people to come back to Nevada City when there isn't an event going on so that they can take advantage of what the town has to offer there. And with that, if you see me around town, come say hello. I'm going to lean on all of you as residents of Nevada City, merchants, business owners, how we can make this happen, how we can make it better for all of you, and to grow this event into a world-class event so that we can get people, not only from the Bay Area, Sacramento, Reno, but from around the state, from around the western United States, from around the whole country, and eventually from the world. It's not going to happen overnight. What it's going to take is community, and that's all of you here, and that's all of the residents in Nevada City, Nevada County to make that happen. So with that, we're going to be reaching out to y'all, and we're going to make this happen. So thank you, and we look forward to it.
Thank you, Kurt. I tell you what, we've been working on these bike races for all of you here a number of years, and it seems like it's just, I know last year Mike and Paul Sieving, they would have meetings once a month. How do we do it? Oh, and Jim Hart was a very big part of this too, the Old Republic. And it just never seemed that we could get the excitement going. But I tell you what, after 3 or 4 meetings with Kurt, and him saying the gravel ride, the sprints up and down Broad Street, the actual using the course as an actual race for runners, I think it's going to bring in a lot more people. And I think it's going to get things maybe not quite where they were 25 years ago, but I think it's going to get it more excited. So thank you, Kurt, for presenting that. We're excited. We're really excited. I have a little plaque that I'd like to present to probably one of the other great volunteers in our fair city. He was last year's a board member on the chamber last year. He served 2 years, and he's not with us anymore, which is not a bad thing. We'd like to present a plaque to Homer Nottingham. Come on up, Homer. Give him a big hand, will you? He's a great guy. And he's also president or head of the Kiwanis Club. So if you ever need volunteers, you need any help with people, you get a hold of Homer, and he will get it handled for you. Also, we were going to have a demonstration this evening, but Homer already ate, and he doesn't want to do it after he ate. He is our Qigong and our Tai Chi master in Nevada City. Anybody taken a class from him yet? Yes. Yes. Well, a bunch of you need to, I can tell you, after looking at you. Thank you, Homer. All right. I appreciate it. Okay. Thank you so much. Give him a hand. Come on, you guys. So at this time, I'd like to call up Walt. Did you eat? Walt Stickle? You haven't eaten yet? Well, don't worry about it. Come on up. We'd like, Walt is the president of the Nevada City Rotary, and he has an award that he would like to give out. We've already asked him to make it short and sweet, please.
You didn't say short and sweet ahead of time, but as you might know, I have more baggage than most of you tonight. I do want to speak extemporaneously on one thing. My wife and I have only lived here since 2008, so we're still learning the ropes about everything that goes on here in town. But I want to give one more shout out to Friar Tuck's, because that's where we met every single one of our friends over the course of the last 8 years. It's just been fantastic. It's like going into Cheers. Everybody knows your name and you meet everybody else. It's just a wonderful place. And I understand there's some secrecy involved with this award of the Business Person of the Year, and I want to dispel one rumor. Some people thought that the winner was going to be the editor of Sunset Magazine. Gee, I wonder why. And I have a question for the group, because as I was reading the article about Nevada City, which was really great, they mentioned the Atlas Bar. Where is that? And there's a picture in there. It's very strange. But I think it's alternate news. Anyway, moving on. I have kind of a little bit, since I'm new, I don't really know this year's recipient, so I have to do a little bit of reading about their background. Notice I said there. And I won't go into which businesses didn't make it. But of course you know all about Business Person of the Year is an honor and presented by the Chamber of Commerce and our Rotary Club. And it's a joint decision to find a business person who demonstrate ethical standards in business as well as community spirit and service. And of course, in the expected business ethics, nominees are measured against the Rotary four-way test, which I'm sure there's a bunch of Rotarians in here from various clubs. And of course, the four-way test is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? I hear people mouthing it. And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? So this year's award goes to the owners of a longtime Nevada City business, first established in 1956, purchased by the current owners in 2003, and they worked for the previous owner for several years. They've been involved with community service through the chamber, with fire auxiliary, helping during fires, and with food and support for firefighters and victims. So at that juncture, I am presenting the Business Person of the Year Award to Kim and Laura Coughlin, owners of Novax. My question is, are they here? Ah, yes. Ah, yes. So, ladies, I have here a certificate for you guys. There's that, and there is a plaque. It says, "Do not open." Oh, never mind. Here we go. Presenting to Business Persons of the Year, and hopefully there are folks with cameras that will take pictures of the winners. Thank you very much.
We are now to the Dr. Leland and Sally Lewis Visual Arts Award. And before I call Cynthia Levesque up, I just want to share a little bit about her. Cynthia gained a love for arts while in grade school and in high school in Nevada County. After graduating and a bit of travel, she settled down in San Francisco for 10 years, where she became involved with the local arts and activism culture and created a monthly event called the Hecco Local. In 2011, she moved back to Nevada County, and shortly after opening up a local artesian boutique, the Nevaco, thank you. After being in business for a year, she saw the need for more shop-friendly events in Nevada City and a need for the local artists to be showcased outside of the typical gallery environment. The idea for a monthly art walk was born, inspired by Oakland's own First Friday, the Art Murmur. After approaching several downtown Nevada City businesses and getting very positive reception from retailers, artists, public, city government, and the Chamber of Commerce, I might add, the First Friday Art Walk was a huge success, and she looks forward to celebrating the 4th year for arts and commerce in downtown Nevada City. Cynthia, would you come up and accept your award, please? So we are giving you a plaque from the Nevada City Chamber of Commerce, and then we also have a proclamation from the State Board of Equalization. They want their money. And
also from Senator Ted Gaines. Congratulations, Cynthia.
do you want to say something?
That's fine. Thank you. I just want to say thank you for everybody that's been supportive of this event, and I'm really pleased that it kind of took a success of its own, because I just had this little idea, and I thought at the first art walk that literally only like 50 people would show up. And when so many people showed up that we had to make an impromptu street closure, it really kind of like blew me away, that Nevada City is really such an artistic community, and the residents here are so passionate about what we have to offer, and I'm so grateful to that, and grateful to the Chamber for being supportive of this event. And I think if there's ever a time where we need to really embrace the arts, is it's right now, because it's really what we all have in common, is it's our arts and humanity. And so I look forward to the success in future years of this event, and seeing what Nevada City can offer to the rest of the community, to the tourists that come and visit, and to the world, because we're really such a great community. Whenever we need each other, there we are. And so thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Next, we're happy to present the Stan Hall's Architectural Award, and this year it goes to the Annex, which is located at 231 Broad Street. The owners are Roy Lynn Arnold and Lise Marie Hotakjandra. I hope I worked on that one. Thank you. And accepting the award is Allison Miller and John Volz. If you guys would come up, please, I would appreciate it. When they bought the building, Gary Tindall was the contractor, and it was great because he was able to inspire a little bit of his architectural creativity in it. And if you have entered into the store, there's this cool old barnwood that's in there. The barnwood was from Washington, and when Lise Marie found it, it looked great online. So when they ordered it, it came back from a pile in the middle of a field and was not the same thing that was online. So when it arrived here, they had to get a little bit more creative, and that creativity was obviously complemented by Gary Tinnell's ability. So it's very fun to be able to present this because it's just a small, little, wonderful, cute building that adds to the charm of Nevada County. So Allison Miller and John Volz, we would be happy to give you these awards. And please say something.
They're sorry they couldn't be here tonight. They're in Los Angeles on a buying trip, of course. But they really wanted to extend their thanks to Gary Tindall for all his creative and wonderful work on the building.
Thanks, Allison.
Hopefully it's not the buying trip in the middle of the field in Washington. Yeah. Thank you. All right. The next one is so fun to present this because we're a community of artistic creativity, and you'd never think that you'd have a campground that would get an award. But this year, the W. Lon Cooper New Construction Award goes to the In-Town Campground. So we're very excited about that. And so Aaron and Dan Tham are the owners, but Jed, would you please come up? So the In-Town Campground is a project that started from the ground up. It took over 3 years from design, infrastructure, and construction. They opened July 1st, 2016, and are currently open year-round, even with the snow. The 15-acre campground includes 15 RV spots, 10 glamping tents, and 30 campsites for campers to bring in their own tents. The campground also includes a 3,000 square foot communal building with a camp store, community kitchen, living room, bathrooms with a shower, and laundry room. They are located next to the Nevada County narrow gauge railroad, which is great because it brings more activity there, and is nestled in this very cool deep pine forest setting. They are proud to have been featured in Sunset Magazine, San Francisco Chronicle, and articles included on Forbes.com, Outside Magazine, 7x7, San Francisco Magazine, and Sacktown Magazine, to name a few. They offer a wide range of accommodation for folks who want to explore Nevada City and the surrounding areas, and all doing it outdoors. The campground also features a ping pong table, a foosball table, outdoor movies, and this summer will be a swimming pool. So, Jed, congratulations.
All right, thank you. Well, that was quite the intro. Usually that's my job to do that kind of that intro there. But I'm the manager. My name is Jed. I'm accepting this award on behalf of Dan and Aaron, the owners, who are in Mexico right now on a beach. Yeah. We talked about trading. They were going to come and I was going to go to the beach, but no, it didn't happen. I tested that joke on my table earlier. They said it was a good one. So yeah, come check it out. Come by and I'll give you a tour. It's worth seeing. It's something we're trying to create, something really special for people to come up and bring their family and be part of this community and come to the shops and the restaurants and the river and the hiking. And we've done well so far, and we're growing. We're going to be a staple of this community. I really believe it. So we're right next to the railroad. Come on by. All right. Thank you.
All right. It gives me great pleasure to present this award to this gentleman. When I asked him to send me a little short bio so that I could read something to you guys, he actually sent me a book. It took me about 2.5 weeks to finish the book, but I did cut it down. Chris Crockett has sung and played guitar in various Nevada County clubs since 1978. He's getting the Live Music Award, by the way. So anyway, when he debuted at the National Hotel, that's when he started, 1978. Prior to that, he was employed as a staff songwriter. Now, I don't think anybody knew this. I didn't. Who knew that? Who said that? Oh, okay. There you go. Paul did, of course. He used to write songs for recording artists such as major label artists Brenda Lee, Donnie Brooks, Gary Puckett, Susie Allenson, and Larry Mahan. Never heard of him. In addition to playing at most of the clubs in Nevada City and Grass Valley, Chris has been known as the opening act for virtually all the productions at Off Broad Street Theater in Nevada City. Big hand. And that's for the last 17 years. Chris is also a regular at a number of retirement and care communities in Nevada County. Actually, he's checking them out for later. And in 2 weeks, on February 21st, Chris will start his 29th year as a railroad minstrel on the Sierra Scenic Snow Train to Reno. Has anybody ever done that? That's a blast. It is a blast. I've heard. I've never done it. Chris is a lifetime member of the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences, the Grammys. Did we have them already? Next week. So if anybody gets it that you don't want, you can blame Chris, because he's also a voting member. Chris, are you going to be there? Where are you? Where are you, Chris? Stand up, Chris. Yes. Harry, okay. Are you going to be at the Grammys, Chris? Everybody's a comedian, aren't they? So Chris has also just completed a new CD titled Cigarette Soup, featuring local group Buckstar. The CD is currently being manufactured and will be out in late February. Chris is currently playing at Mateo's Public in Nevada City on Monday nights. He's taken over the Golden Era Lounge in Nevada City on Tuesday nights. 151 Union Square, Grass Valley. On Thursday nights. Off Broad Street on Friday and Saturday nights in Nevada City. And you'll also find him playing at Friar Tuck's, Canes and Tufnelli's, at times throughout the year. But mostly in Nevada City, right, Chris? Chris, would you come up and play us a song?
Oh yeah, you want to know about my socks? I'll let you know. Hang on a second. No! One.
Can we show them later?
Yeah. 1, 2. Oh, here I am. 1, 2. Now, I'd like to let you know that this system is only equipped to broadcast out to up to 100 people. So if there are more than 100 people here, some of you are not going to be able to hear this. I was planning on doing 3 songs, but because of time, it's been cut down. So I'll just do, no, it's okay. Just do a sing-along. I'm sure you all know this. Join with me. 100 bottles of beer on the wall, 100 bottles of beer. No, oh, you wanted to see my socks?
For those of you who can't hear.
Tuxedo socks. So yeah, you know, I mean, I'm sure that most of you know me as somebody who interprets other people's songs, which is what I do mainly when I'm playing in the clubs and places around the county. But I'm also a songwriter, and as Dave mentioned, I've got an album coming out called Cigarette Soup. And I thought maybe rather than do a song that you've heard, I'll do a song you haven't heard, one that I wrote. Actually, I'm going to do 2 songs. I wrote them both, but one of them is very, very mercifully short. So if you don't like it, it'll be over before you know it. It's a song called Two Songs. And it goes like this. Well, I learned 2 songs back in 1994. Then my brain got fried and I couldn't learn no more. I sang those 2 songs, then I sang them both again. I learned 2 songs, and this is one of them. And then the other song, which is a little longer. As Dave mentioned, I do work on the Sierra Scenic Snow Train to Reno. Paul Emery, Peter Wilson, and I shared that experience for several years together. And I'm the last one left. But anyway, I've been doing it for 29 years, so I've had an experience of not only my adventures in gambling, but other people's too. So I wrote a song, it's called Gambler's Dream, and it takes into account a little bit of me and a little bit of the people I've seen. Hi, Gretchen. How you doing? So it's up to you to sort out who's who. It doesn't really matter, but here we go. Same old hat, same pair of pants, same old player in the same game of chance. It's a gambler's tune. And it's all that I have left. But I'm leaving here tomorrow with my glass half full of hope, and I will slip behind the station and I'll have myself a token. Think of 7s and 11s, of aces, kings, and queens, as I close my eyes and dream the gambler's dream. Same old coat, same pair of shoes, same old player with the same set of blues. It's a gambler's tune, and I sing it all the time. But by noon I'll be in Reno with my pension in my pack, and I'll be sitting at some table with my camels and my jack, and I'll be staring down the dealer's 9 and hitting 17 as I close my eyes and dream the gambler's dream. Hey, look. It's the train from California, and the gambler's in the house. He'll be leaving Sunday morning with his pockets inside out. He says that he's enchanted by the whiskey and the bells. Relieve him of his riches, break the spell. Relieve him of his riches, break the spell. Same old heart, same old soul, same old player on the same downhill roll. It's a gambler's tune, and I'm singing it right now. But there's always been tomorrow, and a train that's Reno bound. And with just one hand I know that I can turn this all around, and I'll be making love to Lady Luck in the back of a black limousine as I close my eyes and dream the gambler's dream. As I close my eyes and dream the gambler's dream. As I close my eyes and dream the gambler's dream. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Woo! All right. I can't tell you how absolutely honored I am to receive this. I I arrived in Nevada County in 1978, so it only took me 39 years. And, you know, overnight success, very long night. But I would be remiss if I did not mention something that is very, very important and moving to me. I've got my grandchildren sitting out there, Electra Casano, Max Casano, and Rayson Young. Now, their mother, Emily Autumn, passed away 2 years ago in February. But the reason I mention her name is that in 1997, in February, here at the Mixer, Emily was presented with the Rising Star Award. 20 years ago, 1997, right here. And I've always been impressed with that young lady. She was one of the most remarkable people I ever met. And it only took me 20 years to catch up to her. And real quickly, I know that time is valuable here, but I made a list here. I didn't know exactly who to thank, so actually this is a list of books that I've read. No, not really. I just want to really quickly thank the people who allowed me to enter into this whole scene. I chased Jan Kopp up Commercial Street one day and begged her to let me sing off Broad Street. As it turned out, I ended up doing the opening act there, and I guess it's been about 18 years now. I always close with Ghost Riders in the Sky. Yeah. Yippee-yi-yay. Yeah. I got a T-shirt from Kate Haight a while back for 2,000 performances of Ghost Riders in the Sky. So anyway, I'd like to thank John Driscoll and Jan Kopp off Broad Street for bringing me into this. Matthew Margulies, he's the one who, I went to him and said, "Hey, Matt, can I sing at your bar? Can I sing at your restaurant?" He said, "Yeah." He put me on every other Monday, but as things progressed, now I'm there every Monday night, and I just love it. And I love Matt. Real quickly, I'd like to thank Steve, Cindy, Eric, and Jesse Jardina from Golden Era. They brought me in too. And then, of course, we've got George Souza, who's hired me at Friar Tuck's and Canes, and Dana and Michelle Milner at 151 Union Square. And to all the people who come and listen to me sing, thank you very much. I'm just excited, I'm honored, and I feel really great. Thank you so much.
Chris. Go ahead and follow him. What a guy. Never knew. Thrilled. I really am. I'm thrilled for you, Chris. Okay, moving right along. We are going to now present the award to Dr. Leland Sally Lewis Performing Arts Award to, I think it's a familiar name, Danny Mccammon. Hey, where is Danny? Come on up. So I'll give you a little history here. Danny is a local... No, come on up, Danny. Please, sit down. I want you to be embarrassed. Like nothing embarrasses Danny, believe me. Weren't you naked in one of those plays? Yeah. I remember that. I wasn't that impressed either. Danny Mccammon is a local improviser, comedian, actor, director, producer, and a drama teacher. He has appeared previously in Totally Polyester, Midnight at Mel's, 1940s radio show, Knockoffs at the Pina Colada, Angry Housewives, Greater Tuna at Off Broad Street, and local community theater stage credits include Ewing Ventures, The Full Monty. Yeah, that was him. You remember? Sierra Stage's assassins, Avenue Q and the producers, Cat's Tea House and the August Moon, Paul Emery's The Tempest and Sereno, Synthetic Unlimited's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, True West, and Evil Dead, the musical. He is a founding member of Synthetic Unlimited and Comedy Sports Sacramento, as well as the creator of Improvers Nation, Gods of Comedy, Best Friends Club, and Tomorrow the World comedy troupes. He has been performing locally for over 10 years. Let's give him a big hand.
Thank you.
So Brian Dolly and Ted Gaines. I know you're not political.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh no, there's been a huge mistake. This is for Jimmy, my brother.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where
is he?
He's much better. He's a much better actor. I'd like to thank the Chamber for providing me a free meal. You really know how to treat actors. And I'd also like to thank the Ellie judges for snubbing me for the past 10 years. Otherwise, this award would not feel so special. Thank you. But yeah, seriously, I'd like to say that this town has this incredible theater community, and every single person that I work with has taught me a different, something different every single time, whether it's a new technique or style or just not being a dick. And it's because of this crazy talented community that I've improved and continue to want to improve. And so this goes out to this incredible theater community. So there you go. And I wouldn't be so inspired to do what I do without my lovely fiancée, Kate Haight. Go ahead and stand up. Yeah, thank you. That's it. Thank you to the Chamber. This is I've never really gotten an award before, so I don't know what to say. It's just other than yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Danny. Well deserved. I would like to give a big shout out. Where are you guys? Antonio's and their staff. What a fabulous meal. Do you agree? It was sure worth it. Thank you. Let's see. Now we've got the Dr. Leland. No, we don't. We have the Elsa Kilroy Award. This is the big kahuna. This is a big one, isn't it? Does everybody know who it's going to? I don't know. Somebody's written in here somewhere. Is it in the program? Anyway, this guy, it's a gentleman. He graduated from Nevada Union class in 1980. He received a teacher certification in education. He worked in the medical field for 10 years. He was the enrichment coordinator for Grass Valley School District for 2 years. For 5 years, he was the after-school theater art instructor for Hennessy, Stockton, and Bell Hill schools. He performed as a stand-up comic and opening act at the Nevada Theater. I don't think he was in the Full Monty. No. He had the opportunity to perform with community players, Foothill Theater Company, and various theater groups in the area for the past 30 years in such musicals as Bye Bye Birdie, Fiddler on the Roof, South Pacific. He played Luther Billis. He wore a grass skirt and coconut shells, and they introduced him to his wife. He was a disc jockey for KVMR for 3 years. Every Saturday on the country show, he was known as Coca-Cola Cowboy. He was a member of the Nevada County Sheriff's Posse. He is a living history reenactor, which includes Western life, Renaissance fencer, and for the past 32 years, a Civil War historian, in which he ran the field hospital, in which he portrayed a surgeon, and he taught medical history to thousands of children every year. For the past 13 years, he's assisted and been the parade marshal for the Nevada City Constitution, Mardi Gras, and July 4th parades, which included for several years as a set designer for the Mardi Gras ball with his lovely wife. The last 3 years, he's been volunteering for the Nevada City Police Department. He is the guy that gives you parking tickets. He is a past Master Mason for the Nevada 13. He's a past president of the Ben Alley Shrine Gold Unit. He's a commander of Knights Templar Commander number 6 of Nevada City. He's a member of Ostama Odd Fellows number 16, Nevada City. This is too much. He's the past grand of Grass Valley Odd Fellows number 12. He's a past grand chaplain of Odd Fellows for the state of California. He's also trying to get California to secede, you guys. So the 162 past Grand Master of Odd Fellows for the state of California, in which he had an opportunity to participate in the 2015 Rose Parade, and the privilege to place a wreath at the tomb of the unknown at Arlington Cemetery. And with all of this, he has nothing to do. Tim Brown, give him a big hand.
Yeah, I'm not used to being in front of people, so this is different for me. When Dave called me, one of the first things I thought is I got in trouble by Chief Foley for giving a ticket to the mayor. So that was one of the first things. One I like to do is thank the Chamber of Commerce for this award and everybody that did involved in that. It was extremely unexpected. I do what I do because I enjoy doing it. So also I'd like to thank Kathy Whittlesey for being my friend for so many years and advisor. Also, George Harper, who helped me and assisted me and teach me how to do those parades for all those years. There's something you got to know. 11 years ago, the night before I got married, and we showed up at that parade at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was my honeymoon, and George complained I was late. So thank you, George. Also, I'd like to introduce from Nevada 13. He's a past master of our lodge. Also, the retired chief of police of Nevada City, Lou Travato, right here. And, of course, my wife, Nancy Brown. A lot of people... she's put up with me all of these years, and a lot of people don't recognize her normally, but during the Mardi Gras, she's the one who usually dresses up like Marilyn Monroe and goes down the parade grounds. So, and also all the dignitaries, friends, and guests, I thank you very much for giving me this award, and hopefully I'll continue to do things in the future, but I might have a little bit fun for a little bit and kind of step out of the spotlight. So thank you very much.
Congratulations, Tim. That list was quite impressive that Dave was reading. Anyways, on behalf of Senator Ted Gaines, congratulations and good luck with everything that you're doing. You're amazing. Thank you so much.
All right. One more big hand for Tim. Elsa Kilroy Award.
The Chamber would like to present Dave Iorns plaque for 2016 President. Congratulations. Now this is his second time around, you know. Is there going to be a third time?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know. I want to thank Mike Byrne. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Thank you, Chamber. That's it. That concludes the evening. Yeah, thank you very much all for coming. We enjoyed it very much.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. If you got a silent auction, see Libby in the lobby. Libby in the lobby. Libby in the lobby. Yeah, thanks for coming. I'm glad you came there. Yeah, we had a good time. You had yourself fun. I enjoyed it. I know. Yeah, you don't have to pay for it either. Jeez, Lenny. Christmas. shout out to you guys.